You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Are you ready? I'm saying, are you ready? Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform
Or ask your smart speaker.
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Right, Chris.
Alrighty, good evening, good afternoon, good day, good morning, good night, goodbye, hello, welcome along. This is LTID TV from Leicester Till I Die. We are here Monday night as normal with normal. I don't want anything normal about this channel, but as normal as we get for us for the debate show, and we will be talking all about the game at the weekend. So get your comments in. I just want to say that if you do want to sort of what we like to call in the industry, doing a Dave, and that is going slightly off topic, and you're not sort of asking questions about what we're talking about, we will save them and we'll get through as many of them as we can at the end of the show. So we will get to them, but we're going to go through the match first of all. And I have to say, I'm really, really pleased to welcome along somebody that was actually at the match. I'm not sure how she got to Swansea. I think it was on a bus.
Hello, Kate.
Okay, hang on, she's gone. Hang on. That was nearly good.
That was nearly good. Oh, you're frozen.
No, I think I've frozen.
You
Can you hear me, Kate?
There we go. You're back.
I'm back.
That was nearly good.
That was near. If that had have worked.
Oh, you're still frozen a bit.
I'm back. It's my internet. It's the weather down here.
But yeah, I didn't go on the bus.
You did. Well, you'd have got free travel. You should have done. Well, look, I tell you, I say there's a lot going wrong with this morning. What we could do with is, well, if you knew a Belgian detective at all, we could invite him in. You know, so we're like Hercule Poirot by any chance. Dave. Hello.
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 Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Well, that's the wrong country, but well done.
Hey, I don't know. They speak French there and things, Flemish and Dutch and German and English and probably Asian. I mean, who knows? Who knows? It's just a mystery to me.
Well, you are a mystery to us, isn't it, Kate?
Lovely to see you both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it is absolutely lovely to see you, Dave. Wasn't sure that you were going to make it, but like we said pre-show, that ferry from Zeebrugge can get a bit of a speed when it gets going.
Actually, golfing weekend. The weather stayed good.
You had a golf. Oh gosh, I didn't realise one played golf.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Well, you see, when you were a high-powered radio executive, I guess these are the things that you're able to do, isn't it?
Not enough, mate. Not enough.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I bet Kathy would be glad to see you out the house.
Yes, she would. But my performance today showed how often I play.
Oh well, don't worry, don't worry.
I need cheering up.
Well, I tell you what, I've been on a couple of them crazy golf. they can be hard. To get it through that windmill, I always find that's really difficult. But persevere, Dave. Persevere.
How was Swansea, Kate? Sorry,
It was
Chris.
really good.
Your show, mate.
No, carry on.
It was really good. Yeah, it's a bit of a drive. It's 3.5 hours from here. But yeah, it was a good day out. And weirdly, as we crossed the Welsh border, it stopped raining. It was bright blue sky for the whole of the match and the whole of the afternoon. So yeah, it was good. The atmosphere was really good. Yeah, it's just a long old day, 12 hours really, including the match. So long old way.
They must have been gutted, especially going
Yeah,
one
I think
up.
so. I think so. They certainly came out to attack and were up for it and wanted to win and played like that throughout the whole match. So it's one of those things we just wore them down and ground them down, which I think is starting to become our trademark a little bit.
I heard you talking to Chris when I was locked away in the green room. I thought I'd been banned or was being punished or something. And you were saying that we just seem to take anything that's thrown at us, don't we? It's incredible.
Yeah, we're saying that we're part of us as Leicester fans is thinking it's going to go wrong somewhere, but we just seem to be. I think it's all about trusting the process, isn't it? If you trust the process, just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll get the reward. Don't deviate from the plan. And I think that showed particularly on Saturday.
It's going to be tough, though, isn't it? If things start going wrong, it's going to be tough to stick to the plan with the crowd. I don't know whether they were okay on Saturday, but they do tend to get a bit restless after about half an hour if it's not going well.
Yeah, when we conceded, there wasn't a lot of noise about that.
Yeah.
It was quite a fortunate deflection. You could argue it was against the run of play, but it was quite early on in the match. And we were just like, right, let's just regroup and go again. We were stunned a little bit. It did go quite quiet, but there was no sort of animosity that was being thrown at the players. We just kind of thought, okay, we'll see what happens. And then we actually ended up having a really good last part of that half. We created so many chances.
Brilliant. How was your weekend, Chris?
Okay, can I ask a question, please? Well, thank you for watching. That's the whole show covered. We're having to ask a question there.
It's the first time you've not interrupted me. What's going on?
Well, the first time you've talked sense, mate.
And now it's Kate talking sense. I was just asking.
Scott says, can we put up a poll, bring back Belen and stick with Enza? Well, look, he's here. We brought him back because he was in the green room and now he's here. So,
thanks, Scott. Love you too.
He'll say he didn't mean you in a minute. He'll say he didn't mean you. But like I said before, guys, if you have got any questions, like we say, we do call it doing a Dave, going off topic. We will save your questions and we will go back to them at the end when we'll be going through anything you want to ask the panel, esteemed as it is. Well, I say esteemed.
Steamed.
Steaming, definitely, yes. Kate, let's see. Oh, everything's going wrong tonight. I should stick to the radio show. Kate, record breakers. Wow. First of all, let's have a look at this. Most consecutive away wins by Leicester City in their history. Unreal.
Yeah. I would never have believed you if you said at the end of last year, when things looked pretty bleak, that we would hit the championship so hard this season and just like a steam train, really. It's been awesome because we were at snail's pace at the end of last season. We were so stuttered and lacking identity. And we've had a summer, which isn't very long. We've had 6 weeks plus a turbulent transfer window. And with all that taken into account, selling arguably our best players, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Good old Enzo. He's pulled it through. He's doing well. He's given his identity back.
Yeah.
It's really good to see.
And Dave, how's OH Leuven doing?
Actually, I think they won. They sacked the manager, and I think they won
They're
4-0.
not sacked their manager, have they? Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Floyd Gerlu or whatever his name is. It's just gone, and they won 4-0.
Pish, you called him last week.
Pish.
Pish.
Le Pish.
And it was,
yeah.
I think it was Bray, wasn't it, or Briss? Briss, I think
Pish.
it was.
That's
He
it.
said Bristol at some point as well last week.
Second one there, Dave. I mean, the best start by any club since it in this division since it has been named the championship, and we should point that out. This has been made the championship, and we've got 11 wins. We only managed 9 the whole of last season, and okay. We are saying, people will turn around and say, it's a different division and we're not playing Liverpool's and Man City's. Look, you can only play what's in front of you. 11 wins in any language is going to be good. And like you say, we're getting records that we want this year.
Well, I sadly didn't see much of the game. I saw the highlights, but they're rubbish, aren't they? But I'll tell you, everyone goes on about other managers that, yes, the Premier League side, Premier squad in the Championship. No, we're not, are we? We're not a Premier League squad. We've got so many different players now. I don't know how many players started on Saturday that played in the I have a word that played regularly last year. What, 4 maybe?
Well, there was Vardy.
Yeah. Vardy didn't play much, did he? He came on in the 80th minute or something like that.
No, Vardy started.
No, last season, I mean.
Oh yes, but he was playing last season, and he's still playing this season. Well, was that not the question?
No, it wasn't. No.
But you got
fast.
Yeah.
JJ. You could argue, although he was out a lot last year.
Pereira, Ricardo,
and Vardy. It's probably half.
If that. Like you said, because JJ didn't play. Vardy was only playing the last 20 minutes. But look, I mean, you've got to say, Dave, when you look at that, and we're going to be talking Sunderland later because we've got a separate show coming up on Sunderland with a Sunderland fan. I mean, they are, Swansea, I think, are the 3rd informed team on the last 6 games. Sunderland are 4th. And yet, we're blowing all these teams that are supposed to be difficult games. We're just blowing them away.
I think you said last week, you'd take a draw. But, it was never, ever going to be an issue, I didn't think. And I don't know. I think the players that have come in have made such a difference. Even the wingers who you don't expect to get straight into it, they have. And he got lucky, didn't he? He brought on 2 subs and they scored. I mean, that is what you need when it's going well.
When that happens, you get it right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we're not a Premier League squad.
Not at the moment.
We're becoming one.
Yeah.
But I think, people are deflecting on the work he's done. And you know what? And it's something I've banged on about for a decade. We started our transfer stuff early. We got in there. He got the players he wanted, not all of them, because you never get all of them, ever. Mm-hmm. But he got the players he wanted early on and gave them time to fit in. He didn't get rid of some of the players he wanted to get rid of, but that's, Christmas is coming. But that's the secret. When you think over the last, 3, 4, even when we won the title, we didn't do much early on, did we? We left it to the last minute. And apart from probably, what's his name? Who's injured up front? Tom
Cannon.
Yeah, he was the last. He was the last one, I think, on the transfer. What? That's not a cannon. That's Tom Circle.
You were so obviously struggling, and I was thinking, I was trying to work out where you were going with it.
Well, when you get,
I don't know any players from Belgium, but carry on.
When you get old, you can't remember people's names. It's just the last 50 years I haven't remembered people's names. So,
This
John,
is true,
you know,
Brad.
John,
This is
John.
very true. Yeah.
But apart from him, everything was done early.
Yes. Yeah,
And
it was.
you know
And
what?
Kate-
I got to the stage where I didn't care if we signed him or not. that was how
Yeah.
pleasing it was to get in there.
Yes.
But great.
Kate, we did get it. We didn't do it early on. We could have probably sold Maddison. Maybe got a little bit more for him. Who knows? But you know, I think if we'd got a little bit more for him, we might have missed out on some of the signings. But everything that Top got wrong last season, he seems to be getting spot on this season.
Yeah, it's all about learning from your mistakes, isn't it? And I think Top's definitely done that. Hopefully the board have done that as well. It's not just him, it's a collective effort from that side of things. But yeah, getting the transfer business done early, not having a Andre Silva repeat ever again. It was so important. And I agree. I think if we'd have left Maddison or Barnes later to get 5 more million or whatever it was out of them, you're just going to miss out on some of the better players in the market, because some of those loan signs, particularly like Cassidy and I think Atgun as well, there were some really decent teams sniffing around.
Yes.
You've got to show our intent. We've got to show our intent straight away and just get the business done, and because it could have massively impacted our ability to get promoted or not.
I want to pick up on a point you said, Dave, which actually was quite interesting, surprisingly. But sorry, mate.
What?
God, I've forgotten it now. But you did make you made a very good point earlier about doing business early. Not only did we do that, but it gave him a chance to gel, because I mean the Stoke City guy, before we played Stoke City, said, "Oh yeah, but we've got virtually a whole new team this season." And I said, "Well, so have we, you know." But getting that early, they were together for so much longer, weren't they?
Yeah, and it's vital, and he knew that. I mean, I think that was probably one of his conditions for the job, was that, you know, he needs to make the decisions, he needs support, but he needs to do it as quick as possible. And he didn't have that much time, actually, did he? I mean, from memory, it all seemed to happen pretty quick, and then players started turning up. You know, and it just seems like
left the door open behind him, hasn't it?
Well,
was following him in,
and he seemed to be focused on the ones he wanted and what he wanted. You know, he unlike Rodgers, who drifted around and thought he might like another centre half, or maybe we need another goalkeeper, or, you know, that sort of thing. This guy's got it right on there, and he knows what he wants.
He does. Highfields, good evening. He's in Chelmsford. He gets around the country, Highfields. Don't know whether it's his job or whether he's just trying to avoid the police. But every time he comes on, he's in another part of the country. But good evening, Highfields. Hope you are well. Look, you were there, Kate. I did say that I would take a point from this game. But when we went 1-0 down, and I think this is only the second time since Coventry where we've been behind first, I wasn't worried, because we do score these late goals.
Yeah, and the way Swansea started, it wasn't totally unexpected, because they started really brightly. They looked threatening. They wanted to attack. They wanted to win. So they got a lucky deflection. It was the result of a corner, I think, again, wasn't it? Indirectly as a result of the corner, which is disappointing. But it's just one of those. He did it again, and it wouldn't have gone in. But I think there wasn't sort of a downbeat amongst the fans. There was just, we were stunned. It was quite quiet for the next couple of minutes. It was a case of just regrouping and continue doing what you're doing, and the chances will come, and they did come in abundance. We just didn't put as many away as we probably should have done in that first half. But, you know, KDH in particular I thought was outstanding for that sort of last half an hour of the first half. He was awesome. Covered every blade of grass, I think, and even put Winks in the shadows a bit, really. And everybody just wanted, it gave us that added incentive, because we didn't want to lose. We didn't want to go into half time even losing. So I think Enzo was really impressed with Yannick's response, wasn't he, to the equaliser, because he just picked the ball out of the net and ran back to the circle, even though there's probably only a couple of minutes to half time. So there was a quick acknowledgement to the crowd behind the goal, and I think
I'm going to be honest with you. I was going to say we'll come on to Yannick in a minute, but I think I celebrated enough for both of us. So let's not say you didn't. I was there for him. I was there for him. Dave, I think you've mentioned before though, and I did think of you when Swansea scored, which is a bit scary. That we do have this thing of wearing teams down. Is we let them play if they want to, or we just at them all the time, and then we bring the subs on and wham bam, fresh legs, and we get in there. That was very much a case. That's how we play, isn't it?
And I think it's how a lot of teams play. I think Rodgers tried to play like that, but he left it to the 85th minute, and it was a bit too late by then. If you remember Man City at home last year, and I think Arsenal even. Who else? Anyway, teams like that, we just sat. But Man United, we should have taken them apart, and we sat back and sat back and got beat. Now we're not sitting back, but we're just letting them, as you say, wear themselves out. And our counter attack is so much more precise than it ever was before. I mean, we are, we did have spells last year where we were finding players, triangles, diamonds, whatever you want to call it. But this year, it's quick as well. And I think that's the big difference. And the fans will certainly put up with that, having seen the end result after this, 12 games and 13 games? Something like that.
I'll stick with you for this one, Dave. I mean, Boris, who comes in quite often, I don't know if he's in tonight. Now, I think sometimes you just try to come in and pull out plonkers, but, he's calling it boring football. And, I think in the Stoke game, he hadn't been so bored for about 20 years or something, he was saying.
We should have been there last year then.
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
That was more boring than I've ever seen at Leicester. I promise you, I've never seen so much defensive nonsense in my life. Square pass. The defence, the back four, whenever we had a back four, didn't know what to do. They just passed it backwards and forwards to each other, and it was embarrassing. At least now you can see, I mean, you might notice this, Kate, on Saturday, that you can see the players looking for angles and looking to get out there. I didn't see that with even Johnny Evans last year. When he
You
played.
mean that fantastic Manchester United defender?
Yeah. I mean, when he played, to be fair, he was as nonplussed as anybody. He didn't know what to do with the ball, and I know he didn't play much. But
is that not leadership, Dave? That was not nothing was coming down from above, if you like.
Oh yeah. Nobody knew where to go. The more I think about it now, and the more I look back on those games, I think they actually didn't know what they were doing. They didn't have a plan. Now there is a plan, and thank goodness it's working. When it doesn't work, sorry to interrupt, but I don't think he'll panic. Oh, what the hell's going on there? Fireworks.
I thought that was Cassie falling over.
Oh.
So one gin too many.
It's a bit early for that, love. What was I saying?
I don't know. We'll move on. Do you want to check on her? Make sure she's all right.
She exploded. Right, love.
Dave. You're good. I'll give you that. Good God.
I was going to make one of the best points of the night then, and I can't remember what it was.
And it went. You were put off by an explosion. Coming to us live from the Ukraine here, Dave, this evening. Kate, before we get on to the goal, something that Dave was saying, that the fans are understanding and what have you. I can remember the first time when I watched this, and you sent me a thing through, didn't you, saying Vestergaard, who must now have beaten Wes Morgan, but he'd made more passes than Morgan or Huth in the whole of the championship winning season. But we are playing a different style of football. I mean, there's times I was watching it at the weekend when it went like, I was just saying in commentary, literally, Vestergaard to Winks, back to Vestergaard, to Winks, and Winks has passed it back to Vestergaard. It's gone out to Faze. Now it's back to Vestergaard, and at times he was actually stood on the ball, sort of saying, right, well, who wants it, sort of thing. Come and get it if you want it, to like the opposition. How do the fans react to that?
Obviously, last year was really frustrated. There was a lot of shouting about pass it forward, make a run. Everybody seemed very stagnant and stationary. Whereas this year, it's just about patience, and we've got trust that the process works. I keep saying this, but we've got trust that the process works. And I did hear something at the weekend that Enzo had said.
An explosion, Mother, any chance?
No, but that we don't have so much possession to move the ball. We have so much possession to move the opposition. We basically keep the ball to move the opposition. And I think that you can see that's exactly what we're doing. So one of the goals it was leading up to, again, was just pure patience of, loads of the same passes over and over, drawing Swansea into our defensive line, which then gave the wingers the space to run behind, and you can thread some passes through. And Winks and Vestergaard are obviously key to pulling the strings in that respect, because they've got the view of the pitch. And that's what we were doing. You just got to bide your time and wait for the opposition to move and make those errors and leave those gaps. Whereas last year, it was just ridiculous. We were just in absolute no man's land. It lacked direction, it lacked tenacity, it lacked intensity, and it lacked ideas. And that ultimately was because our centre half, the Winks Vestergaard link up. What was that last year? Yuri, who was a bit half-arsed, and a centre back that didn't really want to be there. So and a manager who couldn't execute his ideas properly. So it's so telling now that we've got players that are engaged and a manager who has the right idea to communicate that properly.
No, totally. I mean, Dave, I've watched some of these games, and going on from what Kate was saying there, the wing play is absolutely, I don't know if it was this game or whether it was Stoke, but you had KDH, Justin, and Mavididi, and they were just like magicians on the ball. They were terrorizing that poor defender, their right back. I don't see how it can be called football, does it? Boring, I mean.
Well, I mean, they're all good at it. All those three you've mentioned are good at it. There's going to be issues. Mavididi, a bit greedy, but so is Morris. You know, and I think you need to be. Dewsbury Hall can be sometimes. But Vardy gives them space to be like that and to have a go. And that's the brilliant thing. But no, if you're winning, it's not boring.
No. Kate, the Swansea fan that we had on said that they were going to give us a go. I thought when they scored, and I'm going to be honest with you, I hadn't got my link working at that point, and I was watching it on one of those, you know, the AIs where it shows the ball where it is, and on that it seemed to be against the run of play. But I'm guessing from what you were saying, it wasn't. Did they really make a fist of it though?
It kind of was against the run of play at that point. It wasn't total domination that we've seen in some games, that no. I will say, but it was kind of they were losing out on possession and the general run of play, but it was still not a surprise that they got a corner. They looked threatening. But yeah, I felt like they made a really good go of it. And at 2-1, midway through the second half, me and the guy that I go with, we both said,
"Oh, Dave, she's the first time."
We're going to get an equaliser.
The guy that I go with. Oh. She's ignoring that totally, isn't she? Carry on, Kate.
I think it's like we all both thought there was an equaliser coming, really.
Yes.
Because they were pushing quite hard for a good 15 minutes or so, and they looked threatening. And you know, we did get caught out a few times. You know, Ricky P made that error at the back, which led to Mads making that amazing save. I don't know what he was doing there, Ricky P. But you know, we did make a couple of errors, but we got away with them. And Hermanson made some amazing saves, a couple of world-class saves, really, on Saturday.
Yes.
Okay, they were the form team of the league, so you're going to get that, aren't you?
Yeah, and they were at home, and the crowd were really behind them. I think it was pretty much full in the stadium.
No, it isn't Paul, is it, Kate? It's Reg Varney. That's who it is, isn't it? I don't know the guy who played Blakey.
Stephen. Yeah, you do. Stephen somebody. Back there.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Well, she is like anyway. Moving on. Let's not embarrass. There seems to be one mistake in us in every game, but I think I like Enzo's attitude is: look, we're going to make mistakes. As long as we score more than we let in, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Is that to me? Sorry.
No, that was to Dave.
Oh.
The clue
Oh,
was
was
the
it? Oh,
fact
sorry.
I said to Dave there.
I
Can you
think
hear me, mother?
I think there's a slight danger in that attitude, though, because, you know, goals do dry up. I know, you know, the sides that have actually won a lot and got promoted don't concede much. I mean, it's rare to have sides consistently scoring more goals than you. You know, so
We didn't do too bad last season.
yeah, well, you couldn't do it for a whole season. I don't think you've got to tighten them. If you remember the title winning side, we couldn't keep a clean sheet for half a season, and then suddenly we did, and we started to win 1-0, and that's what gave us a title.
Yes.
It was those boring and difficult 1-0s like Watford at home and games like that, and I think somebody away we scored in the last minute or two.
Oh, I remember that game. Somebody United. That was a tough game, wasn't it?
So you know, I think we got to be sensible at the back. Maybe that'll happen when the pressure comes on a bit more, when actually it starts to look real.
Yeah. Well, I want to go on to the goals and my man Yannick, and we'll do it very quickly after this break. Just for you, Kate.
He's
just
terrible, and he's terrible. Yeah.
We'll get it out of her by the end of the season, guys. You do. I want anybody go to these matches at Caesar. Just find out for us. Let's like to wind it up. Look, going on to that. I mean, what a great time to score. All right, it's not going to win goal of the season by any chance, is it? You know, it happened to be right place, right time, Kate. And therefore, because I said Kate, this means it's for you, Kate.
He's been very harsh tonight, isn't he?
No.
But I mean, it again, it was coming, wasn't it? And 1-0 down, I didn't worry that we weren't going to get a goal. And when Yannick scored, well, let me just say, I celebrated for both of us.
I bet you did. As soon as it went in, I was like, Chris is going to be going bananas about this. Yes. Just the quality of the finish, the well-timed run, the sharpness of Yannick. But you've got to be there. If you're not there, you've not got a chance of scoring. Exactly. And he was in the right place at the right time. He's never going to score with his head.
He thinks you're being a tad sarcastic there, young Catherine.
6'5" and he can't use his bonds, so it wasn't going to come off his head.
No. Well, I did think we would be from a corner that he would head one in, but look, like you say, he had to be there at the end of the day. And the fact that our main defender, which let's face it, he is at the moment, is actually up in that sort of position, and I mean, you take it, don't you? Whatever, and I'm just so pleased for him because he's taken so much stick over the years and he's coming good. But we went in 1-1, and I suppose Dave Enzo's half-time tea talk would have been the easier of the two at that point.
Yeah, I think so. And from what Kate was saying, then we were pushing a bit anyway. So it's just a little bit more of that, please. And watch them on the break as well, because, you know, it sounds like they could have had a couple themselves. And that's what we've got to be careful of. I don't know. Faze worries me at the back sometimes with his. He seems very casual. I don't know whether that's just the way he is, but you know, you start getting like that in the back four, and you start giving away goals. And we've done it. Early days, we were giving away silly goals. I don't know whether that's just getting used to it or being a bit over casual, but we can't afford that.
But there was a moment where we lost possession and Yannick was really high up the pitch and it fell to their player, and Mads was out of his goal and had to come sprinting out of his goal to clear it outside the box. It fell to a Swansea player and he had it all in front of him to do a David Beckham from the halfway line, and he misses the target.
Yes.
Which would have been an amazing goal. But it's little things like that. There was a bit of cockiness. We got caught too high up the pitch. Mads came out and did really well, but as he cleared it, it did fall to their player. But yeah, it was an open goal and he just had to hit the target, but it was from probably just in front of the halfway line.
But I think didn't that happen twice? Because at one point he had to come way out and actually head it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Yeah. But then he's a sweeper keeper. That's what we want our players to do, isn't it? John's asking here, and I'll just quickly throw this one here. Anyone else on the panel having a love-in with any other player? Dave's not, because unfortunately Amati is no longer with the club, but that was Dave's love-in. Kate, I don't know who your favourite player is.
I think it's Bards. It's going to be Bards. KDH is a very close second, though.
It's those socks. He's got the Grealish look with his socks.
That's a delight for me, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm all about that.
Not only was it Vestergaard's first goal for the club, like buses, Kate, Olive. When you get one, they come together. Fatu, wow, he put that away, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Great little lead from Wilf. And he took it really well. I mean, he kind of, in the end, when he took the shot, he was pretty much falling over, but he absolutely smashed it. And even at the end of the match, he looked as pleased as punch. Like he was he couldn't take the smile off his face. It was really nice to see. It's always one of those things you just want to get the monkey off your back, don't you, and score your first goal. And he's done that now. And hopefully that will set him up for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, I don't know if you said you've seen the highlights. I presume you've seen the goal. It was a great leave, by Ndidi. Fatua still had a bit of work to do to get into the position to put it away. But yeah, that's been coming for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was reading about him. I don't know, it was last week or whatever, and the star billing he was getting years ago, and saying, this guy's going to be good, and that was one of his strengths. Coming inside or even going outside occasionally, shoots from the edge or wherever. And I thought, this is going back to Mahrez again, because when Mahrez had it, his first season was a disaster, wasn't he? Just kept falling over. But his second year, it started to do that. And even though I think most of us knew he was going to cut to his left maybe and score, he did it. And he got away with it all the time. And I reckon the guy's so quick. Well, he seems so quick from what I've seen that it's going to happen a lot. Now he's got his first, I think there'll be a few coming.
Yes, I think, like buses.
Yeah, but I think also the fact that Ndidi actually left it for him shows the confidence they've got in each other. And that is vital, because I think that was seriously missing over the last couple of years, maybe. I don't know what you guys reckon, but I think back 2 years ago, and it wasn't great then. Our position was a bit false over those fifth finishes.
Was it Kate? I think it was at the other end to you guys, wasn't it?
What, the two goals?
The Fatua goal.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm wondering whether Fatua shouted for it or whether indeed he just left it because he knew he was going to be there.
I don't know. I've watched the goal a couple of times actually, and I don't know. I'd like to think it was a bit of both, which again, going on from Dave's point, is a complete contrast to last season. Last season, we didn't know where each other were, and there was no communication on the pitch except yelling at each other when something went wrong. Yeah. And Ndidi's awareness, attacking awareness, has blown us away, hasn't it? Really, it's been awesome.
And I thought Kelechi coming on and then scoring as well. He seems, even though he's on the bench all the time, he does seem to be buying into it, doesn't he? Whereas last year, he didn't he was sulking a bit, I thought, at times. Didn't really.
Which I can understand because
well, he's a professional though. He shouldn't be.
Yeah, he wants to play. But I think he is going to be used more. I mean, I honestly think he'll start tomorrow night because, Vardy played all that time. But talking about Kelechi, Kate, the third, how the hell did he get that third goal in? I mean, it was literally under his feet and under the goalkeeper. Well, he may have just hurt himself in the process, but I couldn't believe that he got that one in.
Yeah, he seemed to have about a square foot to collect it and get his shot off in such a small space and area. And I think he switched his feet. The keeper committed quite early, I think, and he just managed to turn it around with his left foot, which I don't really know how he got it back on his left foot, to be honest, because there just didn't seem any room to be able to do it. But that's where he's good. I always think Ndidi is at his best when he doesn't have time to think. If he has time to think, he fluffs his lines every time. But when he doesn't, like his natural ability to just turn and shoot or to just do something that looks really tricky for most of the players, he can do it really well. But some of the simple stuff when he's got time on the ball can just leave you wanting a bit. And I think that's sometimes why he's not ever been the number one striker for us, really.
Looking at these stats, and I know stats aren't everything, Dave, but backing up what Kate was saying, they did have a go. 11 shots attempts to our 18. We were both pretty much the same on going. I guess from a neutral's point of view, it was actually not a bad game. But, when you look at that there, the passes, 713 to 431, touches 878 to 592. I mean, this is the style of play we're going to be taking forward, and we're going to be using this in the Premier League if we go back up, aren't we?
Yeah, I do wonder about the punishments we'll get by making mistakes. I think, but we've got a season to figure that one out. And don't forget, I mean, Connor Cody's not played hardly, has he? So
no,
and he was supposed to be our leader.
Who's keeping him out?
Oh, I don't know, some Danish guys.
Well, you'd know if he was Belgium, you'd know him, wouldn't you? Yeah. Dave, we'll stick with you first, Dave, but I do want to get Kate's thoughts on this as well. Swansea boss makes brutally honest admission after Leicester City defeat. Swansea City boss Michael Duff was pleased with his team's performance against Leicester City and reckons it would have been good enough to beat most teams in the Championship.
Yeah, they're all playing it up, aren't they? It's all, silly games. That's what they're saying. He's protecting his team, and he's, they're all going to be doing that all season to Leicester. See if it makes a difference. So, yeah, I take all that stuff with a pinch of salt, especially from managers.
Kate, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the same, really. I think there's just a bit of sour grapes there, isn't there, to be honest? I don't think they did enough to win the game. I don't think they took some of their chances. And I don't think they created enough chances. They gave it a go. That was clearly their game plan. They weren't ready to sit back. I thought they might park the bus when they went 1-0 up, but I didn't at all. But I don't like the intimation that there's perhaps an unfairness about how good Leicester are, because Vardy said, I think previously, we were at the bottom of the league because we were at the bottom of the league. We did one of the worst 3 performances of teams last season. We were down there completely because we didn't win enough games and score enough goals. So I don't like there's that intimation that it's a bit unfair that Leicester are in this league, because that's not the case at all. We deserve to be where we are. We deserve to get relegated, and we've just got our shit together really this season, and we've learned our lessons. And there's still 3/4 of the season to go. I mean, there's a long old road ahead. We could get injuries and all sorts. So I just don't like that. There's an imbalance about it, because we're in the same boat as everybody else. We've just had a better eye and have got some better players.
And Dave, I mean, people calling us the Manchester City of the Championship, and we're buying the title and what have you, and they don't realise that. And I'm glad I saved the graphic for a lot of shows. I do that we let more players go than we brought in.
I don't get this buying the title. We were selling the title at one stage, weren't we? I don't understand that at all. What do they expect us to do? Just not to, take players in to replace the ones we've sold? I don't get it. I mean, if you look at the squad, and I do go on about it a lot, but it's not a Premier squad. I was desperate for strikers, if you remember. I think at
Well,
one stage,
I've known you desperate for many things.
yeah, but we only had 3 strikers, at one stage.
And wingers.
Yeah, and we had 5 goalkeepers, so so he's managed to drag it around. But this is all rubbish. I mean, Stoke have probably had more players than we have, and so many other teams as well. So no, they just
Southampton spent money as well. They've had money in.
yeah.
It's the natural thing for teams to say, isn't it? When you've got Manchester United fans saying that Newcastle are buying, the Champions League place and what have you. It's like irony or what here? Do you know what I mean? But I mean, Kate, Enzo Maresca, it says here in the Leicestershire Live, Enzo Maresca can't admit it, but he's now hinted at it. Leicester City are destroying the Championship. And you've got to say, it does look that way.
Yeah, it does look that way. I mean, we do seem a bit of a formidable force at the moment. So I can't see where a defeat is coming from, but a defeat will come. That's a certainty, I think.
Yes.
So,
I mean, we're 11 points above third. We're like 26, is it, or something above 7th? I mean, it's nosebleed territory, isn't it? But people weren't saying this about Burnley last season.
No, they weren't. I don't know whether it's because Enzo's got a bit of a reputation where he's come from, whether we've still managed to keep some of our really good players. I think a lot of people thought Nacho and Didi, KDH, those players would go. And they haven't, and that's testament to Enzo again, didn't he? He said half a dozen players he convinced to stay.
Yeah.
It's just been a real perfect concoction so far this season, but all good things don't last. So something will happen. There'll be a bump in the road, and that will then be a different test to how these group of players move forward with that and deal with it, really, because it's easy to make hay while the sun shines. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, Dave,
classic example, really. Mark Albrighton. I mean, he was sent out. He was vice captain, sent out on loan last year. We could have done with his experience, attitude, pace. And he was just sent out. Okay, he's not played much at all this year, but he's there. He's with the squad. It's another Schmeichel type thing, isn't it? Where we missed him in the changing room. And I think it's not just the players he picks. And I think he's tried to say this. It's everybody and what everybody contributes to it. Even Vardy, if he wasn't playing as much, he'd be in there, on the training ground and everything else. So I think Connor Cody probably has contributed as much.
They said, didn't they? He actually said, or somebody said about Cody that although he wasn't playing, he was still that voice in the dressing room.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Enzo said that on Saturday about Cody and Hamza. That they're both just feeling confident and in enough, even though they're not on the pitch. They felt in enough with the team to call shots and to give advice and to have their pennies worth throughout the game and behind closed doors.
Yeah, and that's
which is really awesome.
Yeah. That's what gets you promoted.
Nobody is excluded, are they? Nobody's been sent off to train with the under-21s or whatever. Nobody's sort of, said boo to somebody and they decided they're never going to play for the club again. There is more of an inclusive feeling right now, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. And even I bet the players who've gone on loan are sort of regretting it to a degree because it may be the Championship, but we're winning. And there's nothing better feeling than to be top of the league and winning, even if it is a Championship.
Especially if you've got an extremely good agent that's got you a great win bonus in your contract. You're enjoying it at the moment. I mean, Kate, obviously we've got the big Dane there. Who else could I put on that graphic? But look, we've yet to play Ipswich. We've yet to play Leeds. Leeds are coming up quite soon. We've obviously got Sunderland tomorrow night. But, Preston North End we've played. God knows how they're still in fourth after they played against us. Southampton we destroyed. Norwich have kind of been up there we have destroyed. How far do we want to go down? Bristol City are in 8th. We've destroyed. I mean, it's just who is it that's going to inflict this defeat? Is it going to be Sheffield Wednesday?
Possibly. I mean, Leicester are known for if you've
Yeah.
not had a point for a month of Sundays, then come to the KP and we'll give you one if you ask nicely.
Very
That's
decent of
usually
you.
our thing, isn't it?
I'll see you. I'll be on my way. I'll see you there tomorrow night.
I think it's time for us all to get out of this attitude, because I've been trying for 40 years and I still can't do it.
What, do we give them one?
No, not past that stage. Just think, we are going to do it. We're going to do it. I know there's only a few guys. What? You don't think we are? Or you don't think I'm past that stage?
Sorry, I'm a child. All right, I admit,
Child.
I am a big child.
I think Leeds are going to give us a really good game. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I've just got this feeling it's going to be there's going to be quite a lot of animosity. I don't know why. Just
there's
it's going to
history.
be one of them games.
There's history there, isn't there?
Yeah,
Even going back
Friday
to League
night.
One. Yeah,
I
it's
just
going to be
think they'll
great.
be up for it.
TV cameras, I mean,
wants to charge up.
Interesting to see, Dave, that Sky have gone for the Rooney Vardy match on a Monday night, which is usually reserved for Premier League, and we've even shoved that off the TV.
Yeah, well, it's pathetic, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it really is.
Has anybody, and I did comment on that, I don't know if you listened to the breakfast show at all, but I did comment on there. Is anybody, I don't expect you to, is anybody really bothered about this new Agatha Christie that's on? Apparently the first one's been out on Disney, and I did actually vote that I've seen enough, which was just ahead of the I will definitely watch it vote. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's getting too much now.
The only thing I want to see is Vardy score, run over to their fans and give it some. That's what I'm paying my money for.
Yeah, but he knows he's going to get stick, and he's not bothered. And I can imagine Enzo going up to him and going like, "Do you want to start today, Jamie?" And he'll be saying like, "Fuck, of course I do." What are you asking me that for?
And I can imagine him and Rooney are probably like, no, don't want anything to do with these. Let the women have it in their own, in their own time. Do you want to go for a beer? Yes. I can imagine them being like that because they kind of like to stay out the limelight, don't they? The pair of them, they're not.
Well, Vardy didn't really go to the trial much. I don't know whether I think he was playing. Rooney did more, but he'd retired. But it is like saying, look, it's the women. Just let them get on with it. You and me were all, basically okay. But it's going to be interested, and it's it's bound to be picked for the TV. We knew it would be, didn't we? And what have you. So
I'm not sure they were best mates when they both played for England. I know it wasn't a lot, but I don't think they were.
No, not best mates.
And Rooney's called him out on something, hasn't he? On that. From when they were playing together, and I don't know. I don't really listen to it much, but it's
there's
just
something in Ben Vardy's book about it. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, something happened, didn't it, during an England squad game or something? But it's just absolute nonsense. I mean,
I just don't think sportsmen like that carry those grudges over and over because
no.
Otherwise, Vardy wouldn't speak to anybody every week if he wanted somebody up. Like.
Yeah,
they just want to get on with their jobs, don't they?
You're right. You're right.
Right. Do you think Rooney's put on a bit of weight though? Do you see him?
A bit. That's only since last week, Dave. He's putting on about 1 kilo a week at the minute.
Ooh, too many pies in America. Some of them hot dogs and things. Cool, blimey. He's going to have a heart attack if he's not careful. All them drugs, allegedly.
You're younger than me. It's absolutely
drugs. Allegedly here. I mean, if Rooney's lawyers are listening, that is not the views of Leicester Till I Die. That is the views of Dave Smith.
Yeah, come and get me.
SurreyHillsRadio.co.uk. That's
come and
what
get
we
me
need to talk about. And welcome to the Food Channel.
I'm
Last
not
week it was
keen.
the Travel Channel. This week it's the Food Channel.
I'm not keen on those hot dogs in America. It's like skin's a bit, isn't it?
It's fake. It's fake food.
I know, it's horrible, isn't it? You can't call that a sausage, Chris, can you?
Don't take me there. Don't take me there.
I like good old
You
Porky
keep your
Whites.
sausage to yourselves, mate. You know.
Surrey's finest, Porky Whites. If you can ever get those, they're classic. I'll tell you what I do miss now, not going, is the sausage rolls. Leicester red.
Yeah, the Leicester sausage rolls. Yeah, they've got like 900 calories in, per roll.
I know.
The TalkSport Fan Network is the ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts,
including Leicester Till I Die, independent analysis and reaction for the Foxes faithful.
The TalkSport Fan Network.
Unbeatable club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Follow the podcast on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Worth a fiver in anybody's book.
welcome back to Talk Food. How are you doing? Right. Where were we before we?
The game's being moved to Monday night. The Birmingham game being moved to Monday night. Who was going to slip up again?
And Porky's putting on a bit of weight.
Yeah.
Look, I've got to say, Leicester City women lost the first game of the season at the weekend to Manchester City. No disgrace there, to be honest with you. And last season, I think Man City managed to put 14 goals past us in 2 games. Now, I don't think they're going to put 13 past us in the return fixture. But what I watched, and I didn't watch it all, which is why I'm going to say, get over to LTIDT2. Not easy for me to say, LTIDTV2, and you will see Brad, who watched the game, give his review. I was very impressed with what I saw. Yes, we were nearly hit on the breakaway, but the women did a really, really, really good job. Look, we touched on this on Saturday, Kate. If it's all right, Dave, do you mind us going back to football?
If you must.
Yeah, that's okay. I just thought I'd check with you,
Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
We've had an exploding wife. We've been talking hot dogs and Surrey sausages. I just don't know where else this show can go to.
Exploding wives and Porky Whites.
Porky White. They're thick and luscious. Sorry,
you talking about Kathy again? Oh God! I tell you what, if I ever get, I did it a while ago, but I might have to have you two on the Name the Sportsman quiz. You'd be great, you two, on that. But look, going back to football and leaving Dave's lush and lovely, whatever it was, Porky Whites. He got man of the match off Alan Bennett, who goes to the matches like yourself. I think you sort of agreed with it, but he is saying how difficult it actually is these days to pick out one man of the match, where before we were so awful that it was difficult to actually pick anybody, but you could usually say, well, he was better than the rest of them. But he said it's just so hard this season.
Yeah, it is. And I think in the last couple of seasons, we tended to use the same kind of channels to score goals, and that's probably where your better performances would be more spottable. Whereas this year, everybody is involved. Everyone's included in the style of play, and we switch it up so often as well that it can be anyone's game, really. Yannick did really well. He obviously got his first goal. He deserves a hell of a lot of credit just for the mental resilience that he's had to come back and from the abyss, really. I mean, he was on the brink of just being completely frozen out, and then you worry about your future career. Will anyone come and look at you? So it must have taken some convincing from Enzo to get Yannick brought into this, and whether or not he stays in the summer, I don't know, but he's done amazingly well, and he seems to be improving every single match, to be honest. His pace still scares the living bejesus out of me, but he's accommodating it now. Because Wes and Huth weren't amazing in that department. There was some area, like Huth had the turning circle of a double-decker bus, didn't he? But he was able to kind of accommodate his own weaknesses and still look really good. And I think Vestergaard's managing to do that really well now. Just play within your means and with to your strengths. And I think he said today, I've just watched an interview actually, where he said that the possession-based style of football has always been his strength. And he said he's really pleased to be finally playing that style of football. So.
I was always impressed at Southampton with him when he was playing out the back and his runs forward. But as I say, as a defender, he seems to have, I mean, he does put himself on the line now, doesn't he? I've noticed that. Instead of just shying away, they all seem to be doing that. So when we do get when we get under pressure, guys will throw themselves at the ball. Whereas I thought, again, we can only say about last year, can't we? Because you know that's what it was. Last year they all shied away and didn't want to know and didn't risk hurting themselves, and that says a big difference between the management team.
There you go. They're just.
I haven't seen those. They've got new ones out. Okay. Oh wow, with sprouts. Oh, Kathy. Porky White's got sprouts.
Add it to the list. Come on, put it on the shopping list.
Yeah, bloody right. Wow.
What have you done, Chris? What have you done? You've started something.
It's the sprouts.
That's a good food show.
Send you a packet, Chris.
10 Surrey Christmas sausages. I think you'll find, Dave, it is only the picture. There's no sprouts in the packet.
Okay.
Oh, that's misleading, isn't it?
Not sprout flavoured sausages.
What is
the extra sprout?
They might be. I'll ask him.
You look there. Where there is no Brussels sprout in that packet.
No, but it might be flavoured.
Can I just say though, I am wondering in the middle, the middle two sausages at the bottom. I really do hope that they are a sausage. I'm really not sure.
They look more like chipolatas, to be honest, don't they?
They look like something else.
There's only 9 of them as well. It says 10. Where's the other one hiding?
Well, hang on.
9. There's only 9 there, isn't there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There must be one. Sorry about Kate. It's just the way it's worked out.
Yeah, I've become a massive 9 sausage bundle.
Oh, hey. well, it is Christmas.
Oh dear.
The trouble is,
younger than 1935, though. I can tell you that.
Indeed. Well, good point. But in West Sussex, they don't sell as many of those as they do in Surrey. So we only get a full selection of maybe the chipolatas and maybe the pork. He's got some fresh ones that are not so much fat in them, but they don't taste so nice.
Ring, if you know him, get him on and see if he wants to sponsor a show.
I do know him. I don't know whether he's still.
And tell him I want at least 2 free packets of his sausages for giving him the free publicity here.
Actually, that's a point. On other words, see if he's around.
Yeah. I still have to question those middle sausages at the bottom. But I think, well, Kate obviously wants them in a Christmas stocking. Well, Kate, is that your thing? You know,
you don't ask, you don't get, Chris. That's what I've learnt in life.
I was watching. I actually, and I did. It was a stupid idea of mine to do it, but I went to sleep last night. Then at 12:30, I woke up to watch the Grand Prix because I didn't know the result. And I shouldn't say that when my boss is on the show, should I? So I was up till about 1:30. But they have adverts for Love Honey on the channel. Now, I dare say this in the morning one. Now, can I just say that it isn't, anybody that doesn't know Love Honey, it isn't a jar of honey that's made by a company called Love. Kate's pretending like, she's sat there going like, I have no idea what they're talking about here. But apparently, I think it's about 120 quid, you can buy a Love Honey advent calendar. And behind every window, there is a toy. So get that on your list, Kate.
I can't believe they put that on telly.
It was after midnight, in fairness.
I'll put it on the list with my 9 sausages. That's fine.
We got to find what happened to the other one. But the other thing they advertise.
I am not going there.
Find the sausage. We've all played that game, Dave.
Yeah, indeed. They advertise Viagra on Soccer Saturday, don't they? I mean, you're watching Soccer Saturday and suddenly this thing comes on. Oh, are you suffering from, erectile dysfunction? The kids could be watching that. It's terrible, isn't it, really?
This is so getting clipped.
Dad, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction? No, it's just the way I'm standing. I mean, come on, it's not right, is it?
Son. Come on,
yeah. Let's watch the cricket. It's not,
I'm still laughing at hide the sausage.
It's not right, is it? Not right.
When at 9 o'clock Monday to Thursday, I do a top 10 of everything, and Dave knows that they are a little bit halfway up the arm, not near the knuckle, closer to the elbow. And there was one of the 10 most poisonous or dangerous animals in the world, and one of them was this beetle. If it bites you and you don't get sort of antidote quick enough, it will literally kill a human. But one of the side effects is, if you're a man, is that it does have the same effect as Viagra, but a lot quicker. I'm just thinking of this guy going into a hospital and the nurse is going, "Have you been bitten by a spider? Are you pleased to see me?"
I think she's got somewhere to hang her coat,
Hey!
Well, I'm getting embarrassed now.
I'm just surprised you've not stopped me doing those days.
I have, haven't I?
Not officially.
He is now.
Didn't you get the memo?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't got the.
Oh, right. Don't start that. Don't start that.
Oh God. Where do we go? Let's just get some comments.
Vestergaard, wasn't it?
No, we had moved on from Vestergaard.
Oh, Nate.
We could talk about bounty bars. Don't think bounty bars and Sussex sausages are in the same league. You don't get this on any football channel. I know. But then, no football channel has a Dave. Everybody's got to have a Dave.
I think the bounty bar thing was those chocolate boxes, wasn't it? That everybody leaves apart from Brad.
Yes.
I mean, Brad eats the bounty bars. Well, you come Christmas with me because we leave them. Well,
yeah, I do. I don't like them.
No.
I tend to eat them because that's all that left. My favourite ones are the Maltesers, and there's only about 2 of them.
Are they still doing those boxes now?
Yeah, I got one the other day for Halloween, for when the kiddies come knocking.
You throw them at them or something. What do you do to her?
They come knocking, trick or treat, and you give them one of these, and they just take a few sweets out. We're not all like you, Dave.
I'll give them 5p and tell them to fuck off. Oh no, that's Bob a Job. That's Bob a Job. Sorry, that was Bob a Job. Yeah.
I bet he's ordered extra eggs so he can throw them at people. See
him at the door at the bottom of the flats, drop them on top. It's just no, I think it's a very worthwhile cause.
Yes. Right. We're going to move on now and try and get sensible again. And I'm going to go and just reevaluate my whole career. And we're going to take viewers' questions. God help us. Straight after this.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Okay, the voice of Jerry Taggart there puts the fear of God into me every time I hear it. Right, so let's have a look. We've got just a few questions just to end up on here. Scott saying here, just this is very question time here. Does the panel believe we will get 100 points? I mean, if we carried on, I worked it out at the break, the international break, that if we carry on with as we are, we could get 125. But Kate, do you think we could get 100 points?
Yeah, I do. I think we'll do that. I think that will be one of our targets of the season as well. Not necessarily spoken about particularly in the team as such, but I think now the record's been taken for this part of the season, I think we'll just want to charge on.
Brad, what's he called?
David, you're David.
Dave. Belgian Dave.
Belgian Dave.
David. He looked different on the telly as head coach. Well, I can't even say it. What are your thoughts, David? Can we do 100 points?
Yes.
That's the shortest question he has ever answered.
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt. I think we've got a big chance to break the record big time.
Yeah. I mean, the record's 106.
Yeah.
Is Reading. I think 101 was Burnley last season, but they didn't have the start that we had. And we've got 102, I think, was when we went up on that.
Funny old game, though, isn't it?
It has been tonight. God, I'm going to be busy tomorrow editing, aren't I? Scott, again, we'll come to Kate first. What are your thoughts on the futures? Now, he's left 3 players there, Albrighton, Everson and Ward. I think 2 of them we know are going to go.
Yeah, I think 2 of them are going to go. I think Everson and Ward are going to. I don't know when Ward's contract finishes because I think that's the only point he will go. Is it this summer?
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
I think it's a bit longer for Ward, I think.
Oh, is it? And then Everton, I think he'll just hope he can get some game time elsewhere. So I think he potentially, if a decent club comes along for him, I think he will go. And Albrighton, he's never hidden the fact that he wants game time and to play football, and that's why he went on loan last season. So if we can keep including him, we'll keep him until he retires.
This is his last season. Is he, Dave? I mean, he's a bit older. Is he sort of past getting an extension, do you think?
No, I think he's an important part of the club. And I think we should respect these guys a bit more, not just for what they've done, but for what they can do. You know, I mean, it's going to get tough as the season goes on. You know, we keep being told there's a lot of games. There's an African Nations Cup in January, February, or whatever it is. You know, we're going to lose players. We're going to need people with experience to help us through.
And he's only 34, Albrighton. He's 34 next month. I've just had a look. So
yeah, not that old, is it?
No.
Well, not compared to you and me, Dave, but for footballers, is that not an age when? All right, let's presume that we are going to.
Christ, he's half my age.
We're going to get promoted. At 34, is he going to see that much game time in the Prem?
No, probably not. But then, you know, it would be nice for him to be part of a promotion side, wouldn't it? After what they suffered over the last year or so, it would be nice. And I think we do need him. You know, we shouldn't devalue these guys.
How old is Vardy, Kate?
I think he's 37 in January.
I mean, his contract's up at the end of the season, but 37 for Vardy is like 33 for most players, isn't it?
I think if we get promoted, I think he'll want another year. I think he wants that top 10 record. I think because he started late, he won't want to go out until he's absolutely done. And he's earned the right to retire when Jamie Vardy says he wants to retire. No one else calls the shots.
Yeah.
And, Giggs went till he was 40.
That's true.
Vardy's looked after himself. He's not had any serious injuries, touch wood. He looks as motivated and as keen as ever, and he's interacting with the away fans more than I can remember for a few seasons. He's loving his football again, and like any footballer, you don't want the dream to end until it's absolutely over.
Yes.
No.
And of course, Ndidi his contract's up. Vestergaard, his contract's up. You would think, all joking aside about Vestergaard, Ndidi, if he doesn't get invited on to Strictly Come Dancing, you got to think that those two are being talked to behind the scenes, wouldn't you? Or would you? Would you say that? Because would you take Dave? Would you take Vardy into the Premier? Vardy, sorry. Would you take Vestergaard into the Premier League as good as he is at this level?
I'm not sure I would. I think we'd need somebody a bit stronger at the back there. I mean, again, bearing in mind, I don't think Callum Doyle will probably stay, will he, after the loan? I don't know. He may do, but I don't think so. Hopefully, Connor Cody will be around. Wout Faes will be around for a while. I don't know what's going to happen to Suter, but we need to strengthen that. I mean, we're talking about going up already, but we do need to strengthen the back four. I think quite strongly. I mean, they get away with stuff. They got away with a lot of stuff in each game, and I think was it Blackburn was saying that they were punished every time they made. No, Southampton made some mind for Southampton saying every time they made a mistake they got punished. We didn't, and I think that's the difference. And I think that means next year we're going to have to tighten it up a bit. And I'm not sure he's up to it.
Sorry, Kate. I mean, Ndidi, I think if we go up and offer him a new contract, I think he could stay. Vestergaard, and all joking aside, excuse me, would you? I mean, he has played in the Premier League for Southampton, so we know he can do it. But as good as he is at this level, would you extend his contract if we get promoted?
Not for me. No, I just think centre halves are so different in the Premier League to what they probably were 10 years ago, definitely from 20 years ago. You've got to have the pace and you've got to have the agility, and I just don't think he has that, and he can get away with it at this level just about. But you need to be able to sprint in the Premier League, and I just don't think he's got it. And he needs to be able to use his head better, which I don't think he's been able to. But I think his distribution's awesome. I think, most of our back line is probably the best at passing and distribution, and he can ping cross-field passes really well. But ultimately, his bread and butter is being able to keep up with the pace of an attack, and I don't think he can do that in the Premier League. It's just another notch up.
And do you think, Kate, that come January he can talk to other teams abroad? If that happens, because he's not signing a new contract, do we then end up in a situation like with Kags and Yuri, where as good as he's been, he actually takes his foot off the pedal because he knows he's got to move away from the club?
Yeah, that's going to be a big challenge for Enzo, I guess, isn't it? With all these players coming to the end of their contracts, it's making sure that they don't put crayons down in the last few months of the season because of worries about injuries or having agreed contracts elsewhere. So Enzo will have that in his mind, no doubt. So it's just how he handles that. Obviously, he can't handle it any worse than his predecessor. But that's part of management, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Let's just rattle through these last few. Scott says, Dave, do you think we could do with more of a target man? I know this is something that you have talked about in the past.
Yeah, I always did. I always thought that. It used to be Jamie Vardy, but then we stopped playing to him. I think we need somebody to support him up front. Somebody that's got a bit of presence there, because, as the weather gets worse and going gets tough, it's the tough get going.
Billy Ocean. You're going to burst into song there.
Oh, I nearly did. Yeah.
And do you know what else? Red light spells danger as well.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No, I do think so. But then saying that, it's all going well at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes. Do you know what? I might as well just upload the whole show as clips. That's all it's working. Kate, I'm going to throw this one back at you. Because Nate is saying, would you keep Vestergaard as a rotational player? But would he want to stay on that basis? I don't think he would.
Yeah, there's two things there. It's whether he wants to stay as a rotational player and how much is he going to cost
to
be that kind of player. Like a utility player probably shouldn't be earning what he's earning. I think he's on 70k a week. So that's an expensive reserve utility player, really. And I just don't think he's fit for purpose to the Prem. But having said that, we only saw low confidence beaten down Vestergaard, really, when you think about it.
Yes.
But I wouldn't still like to risk putting him on there with his pace because that is what it is.
Yeah. Dave, back at you. Ender Vanaka resetting the team after each game, win, lose or draw. He does, and that's what needs to be done, I think, isn't it?
It does seem to come across where, we're going to lose games. So let's deal with it and make sure we don't lose the next one. And I think that's the beauty of it. Don't get too excited when you win, but don't get too down when you lose.
No, exactly.
And that seems to be the way it's done. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Kate, John's asking, will we have enough cover when the Ofcon is on, or will we dip into the transfer market? I think we've said this. I know I've said this a lot. Is the fact that I think we are actually panicking too much about Afghan. Sorry, we are actually only going to lose.
Yeah, I panic about them all the time.
Yeah, after tonight's show, Ofcon won the vote.
I'm going to say, send your complaints too.
No, Chris Forrian. No, not me. Doesn't do me, mate. Join us next week with Phil and Holly. That's who we've got here now, isn't it? You two. Well, excuse me.
We might as well call the show this morning because we've had food, we've had different countries, we've had sausages and Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, but Phil, no.
This morning. Do.
You know the tune?
I do, unfortunately. Yes, I do. I can remember when it was coming from the docks at Liverpool, I'll tell you. Kate, get back to it's Dave again. Come
on, you're back in the room. Come on.
Right, come on.
I was actually saying, wasn't I? Afghan. We're only going to lose, I think, 4 players. Unfortunately, Ndidi and Iheanacho are 2 of those who are quite vital at the moment. Daka, will we miss him? Will anybody even notice if he's not there? No disrespect. And I think, is it Fatawa we're going to lose?
Fatawa, I think, yeah.
Yeah, to Ghana. But we've got Tom Cannon hopefully coming back for Iheanacho. Have we not got the cover for Ndidi? I think we will buy in January, but do we need to buy, Kate?
I don't think we need to. I think if the opportunity came along for a loan as well, I think we would be into that. But January window is so difficult and almost flipping pointless because no good players want to move. It's a panic buy window. I just can't see us doing a lot. But you never know. I mean, we might be forced to, touch wood, there's no injuries, but you never know. One thing I was going to mention, which we've not spoken for such a long time, what is happening with Dennis Pratt? Is he
bad back, isn't it?
He's just been gone for weeks and weeks.
Yeah, still.
He was injured at the start of the season.
There's no comeback date, I don't think, is there?
I'm just reading. Oh, here we go. Dennis Pratt. This was from Enzo's press conference because I've got everything at my fingertips here.
Yes, I can see.
Including me Suffolk sausages.
No, sorry.
Only 9.
Only 9, though. Oh, I won't tell you where the 10th one is.
Yeah,
Dennis Pratt back and Callum Doyle knee are the other 2 players on the sidelines for City. The rest confirmed there were no other fresh concerns beyond Yunus. It doesn't say, he's not giving any more information on those 2. So
I think Yunus is out tomorrow, though.
Yes.
He said it wasn't serious, didn't he? I don't know what that means, but maybe a hamstring or something, was it?
It says he's been ruled out of the Championship fixture with Sunderland as he undergoes a scan to determine the extent of his injury. So
That can be nasty, can't it?
Yeah.
So Casey McAteer, is he on the way back? He must be. He can't be far off, can he?
Shall I send you both the link?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Read a bit after. Casey McAteer.
No, don't worry about it. I just wondered.
Tom and Casey are very close. They're both on the grass, which I'm hopefully means they're training on it, not smoking it.
Yeah.
Hopefully at the end of the week or next week they can start. All right. Well, Tom Cannon there. Didn't think he was going to be coming back this quickly, but yeah, hopefully at the end of this week or next week they can start with us.
Okay.
Wow.
That's exciting.
Yes. Yeah. Dave, which signing has been the most successful for us so far?
Same one. Harry Winks.
Harry Winks, I think so. Agreed, Kate?
Agreed, yeah.
Yes.
He's going to have his quiet moments, but, he's solid, isn't he?
Yes.
Danny Drinkwater at his best.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
Just seeing if there's any more questions coming in. I think we're going to call it a day there. One last question from me to the pair of you.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a one, one-worded answer. Don't be rude. There's just no need for it. Do you say phase or do you say fast, Kate?
Fast, because that's what he told us to call him.
Was it?
When he did his promo video when he first joined, he said, people have asked me how to pronounce my name, and it's Woot Fast.
Yeah.
That's why it drives me mad when BBC Radio Leicester are like Fars, and I'm like, he's told us on his video.
Well, so with me going with Vout Phase, then I'm absolutely miles off on both of them.
You're just showing off with the Vout being a V instead of a W.
I think it's Woot. I'm not 100% sure on the first bit, but it's definitely Fast because he said on his video.
He did, didn't he? He said, my name is Woot Fast.
Yeah.
But with a better accent than that.
I think that was great, Dave. That was almost
cheers,
fluent.
Mate. Thank you. Have I told you about my Danish background?
No,
but you told us
so
about
he's Belgian.
Oh, it's Belgian. Sorry, yeah. I knew it was something like that.
And his Danish bacon, or his Surrey bacon, whatever way he wants to do it.
Swiss
right.
watch.
God. We'll try and do another one of these next week if I've got the energy.
I've got to do a bit of trivia before we go that I found out just before we came on. So tomorrow we're doing. Well, we've got a bit of trivia. So tomorrow is the celebration and memorial kind of thing for the helicopter crash tomorrow, like the anniversary. Yeah. And Enzo was on the coaching staff for West Ham the night it happened.
Oh, whoa.
So it's quite a full circle thing happening there, which is really interesting.
Wow. Really, I maybe not go that far. But
but it's just a bit strange. I always found that a bit strange.
I'm jesting with you. No, it is because I have seen something on the news about Enzo and the memorial and what have you. Obviously, that's what it was talking to us about. Another year. What a horrible night that was.
Can't believe it. I wasn't at the game either. I was at a party down in Surrey at the time, and it was just I didn't know what it was. Numb, wasn't it? I didn't know what to think. So God knows what it was like for people there.
No,
can't imagine. Horrendous.
I'd done the watch along and the post match and everything, and I'd gone and sat down, got myself some food, and my phone just started to go.
Just shows how long ago Puel was in charge, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yes.
And it was the night Marty broke his ankle as well, at the same night.
That was Dave with his voodoo doll.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, a lot happened. 5 years already.
Five, my life.
Tragic. Yeah.
Right. Good God.
Still makes you well up, doesn't it? Just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Still painful.
And Scott says here, just to sidetrack, it's a bit like when I used to say Ryan Bertrand. I don't know why I did that.
This is bouquet, that is.
Isn't it?
Is that his full name?
Bouquet.
Full name, Ryan Bertrand Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to make him French.
That's okay.
Ryan Bertrand. Make him better. Make you sound a bit more exciting than he actually was. You know.
Harry
David Ginola with Ryan Bertrand. But look, that's it. I'm going to go while I've still got some sanity left.
Jamie Vardy.
well, David Smythe.
Yes.
Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
No.
Oh.
Not after tonight. But thanks for asking.
Especially Rooney's lawyers. The Weight Watchers apparently want to get in touch with you.
Yeah,
some publicity.
Don't worry about us. Phone Rooney up.
Allegedly, please.
Yeah.
On that note, what you don't know, Dave, is I can get my own back in the morning.
I know.
You know. Well, having said that, you can easily cut me off, I guess. So.
I know.
Anyway, he knows, you know. He does.
I do.
Dave, it's
nice
almost been a pleasure for you.
I know.
It has to be and Kate. But I will let you go off now on the fact that you're on a promise for some sausage and mash. And,
thanks, mate.
We will see you next week if we don't speak before.
All right. Nice
Take care, buddy.
See you guys.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
He can be found on Facebook under Dave now. I'm just moving on. Kate, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter at Kate Blakey40. So follow me on Twitter.
And if you're old enough to know, this is why we do this.
Hello, Kate.
Is that the best tip ever that you've got?
Well, I don't know. I got this one for Brad when he's not sort of had a shave or had his hair cut for a while.
That is Brad. That looks exactly like Brad.
That is Brad. And then this one is Craig.
Here is wise man from ancient times.
Very fitting.
Yes. I'm going to get one for Dave, and I did have one for myself, but Brad Pitt had said I've got to stop using his lookalike photo. So what can I say? Kate, are you going tomorrow night?
I am indeed. Yeah.
Will you be able to, if you can get the signal before and after?
I will indeed. Yeah.
Look forward to that, and I will see you. Speak to you tomorrow night.
You will indeed. All right. Have a good evening.
And you as well. All the best now. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. So there we go. Let me just get that bigger. There we go. And don't forget, if you do want to catch up with the Leicester Women's review, that was done by Brad, LTID TV2. Get over there and check it out. It's a good review. Lost, unfortunately, for the first one today. But look, we're going to be back tomorrow. It will be 7:15 because it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, and we'll be doing the watch along. So please join us for that and get in and join in with the chat. Thanks to everybody that has been watching. Thanks to everybody that was joining in. Sorry that the show seemed to take a few little diversions there, one way or another. I'm going to go now, like I say, and rethink my whole career. But it's been fun. And if you've been listening on your favourite podcast platform, thank you so very much. And not only that, actually, that is when we are back tomorrow, but also this.
Coming up next on Leicester Till I Die TV.
Coming up next is 9:30 tonight. Myself, Craig, and Paddy, who is a Sunderland fan, will be previewing tomorrow night's game. So join us back here in about 51 minutes or so. Don't touch that dial. I've been Chris. This has been LTID TV, And this is Arnie. Good night now.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.